Stream, stream,
You
stream.
strim.
Have you ever been to a stream?
Let's give a
Have you
couple
ever
minutes for
seen
some people to pop in.
where there's a seam?
Oh my gosh, I just got a notification that we went live.
No
Oh,
way.
wow.
What?
I
Oh,
didn't-
weird. I'm in the middle on Jesse's, but on mine, I'm on the right.
Oh, you're in
Yeah.
the middle for me as well. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say.
Oh, Just X first.
Justin, welcome to the stream. Also, Denny.
Of course,
Just
Denny's here.
Keep filing on in. I know you guys had to deal with my
Hey,
face
Justin.
for like 5 hours today, but you know what? I'm back.
They can't get enough.
And this time I'm not getting my butt kicked in Breath of the Wild, so.
Unfortunately.
Were you getting your butt kicked earlier?
I was doing a shrine and I died like 4 times.
I believe it.
Oh, Breath of the Wild. For some reason, I was imagining Smash Brothers. I'm like, what?
Oh no. Although
I
there
would
is a
also
stream.
be dying there as well in Smash Brothers.
that's been known to happen.
Yeah.
Especially when you play with burgers.
A good few humans here. We got Justin. We've got Justin. And Denny. And
Like-
Matt.
Let me
and
share.
Thorn.
And Thorn, Broken Shield, Smaug.
Oh yeah, let's tweet this. Just tweet this business. Get that
My
tweet.
phone is down on the floor.
Phone. You have a computer in front of you. As well.
Yeah, but everything
No.
is on
Awesome.
my phone. Oh, actually, I do
Yes.
think I am logged in on my pooter.
Now's the time.
Hi, other Justin.
Okay. Hi, Justin. Hi, Justin.
Hi, Justin. Hello, Justin.
Who is this Justin?
Ew, why is my Twitter on light mode here? What?
Yeah.
So, while we're waiting, who all got the super duper cool Animal Crossing Switch today?
The Geek Apprentice has one that she did a very cool unboxing video of. I'll just put that out there, shamelessly plug our friend.
Oh yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
watch anyone else's unboxing video, so 100% everyone else's unboxing video is gonna be better than mine.
Rip. I'll just say though, in TGA's video, there's just some really raw, real excitement there, and I love it. It's
Aww.
great.
My
It's great.
roommate was home when I got it, so I didn't want to get too crazy.
Lame.
I know.
Don't be a coward. Give in to the hype.
She probably thinks I'm already lame. Okay, I fixed my
Yes.
Twitter, but I was
She's
meaning to
alright.
retweet you. Burger.
Bork, 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 bork.
Someday I'm gonna accidentally tweet at Burger King instead of you.
Well, I mean,
One of these days,
Can you imagine? I just
Burger King.
I'm sure
got raw
someone
burger.
has
This is how I
already.
become famous. Oh boy. Oh boy.
You know what? It's totally acceptable to not play Animal Crossing, but you're just gonna have to watch all of us play it.
Denny
This is true.
says we all look good.
Thanks.
Isn't it nice to have such great lives
Denny has a
among us?
compliment for me? That's a first.
That's surprising. I'm not
Geek
gonna lie.
couldn't make it. No.
Hey, Michael McClung, thank you for the $5 super chat.
Whoa. We
Thank
couldn't
you.
Even,
That is
Coming in
we
a
didn't even
hot.
get started.
that is a cute fox, dog, cat thing.
It's a corgi.
Many thanks, Michael. And
Yeah.
you can throw us a question. We will slot it at the top of our mailbag.
My name also ends with MCC. It means son of in Scotland.
MC Jesse.
MC Jesse in the house.
Yeah.
Or is
So-
that Ireland? No, it is Scotland. The Max in the mix.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah, Max.
Yep. The mix. Yep.
The mix
I'm
in
sorry.
the-
I'm realizing. I remember my ex. They were all like MC, and so was his roommate. They were both MC. So it's a Scottish thing.
Yes. I know this because
You took a
So-
class when you were When you were 10, you set out on your Pokemon adventure, and I took you to the gyms of Scotland.
Yeah. And they went, "Oh, laddie, what are you doing here?"
Hey, I'm not in charge of the volume of me. Jesse's in charge of the volume of me. And Denny says that
Wait.
I'm too loud, but Denny always thinks that I'm too loud. He wants to
Volume
mute
isn't
me.
like the amount. Like there's the volume.
There's just too much of me.
There's
I
too
fill
much.
up this entire room.
I mean,
Oh no. Oh dear. Oh dear.
like, I can
You can.
change. Give me 2 seconds, and I can change that.
Mm-hmm.
And then in before I'll just be too quiet. Sucks
Oh,
to
no.
suck.
I guess while Jesse's fixing that, and before we officially start the podcast, you showed us already. You should just show off that new Switch for everybody watching here that didn't watch your stream earlier.
I didn't actually show it off on stream.
You did not.
Well, I showed the box.
I would have opened that bad boy up right then and there.
I filmed an unboxing for Jesse.
I unboxed an amiibo on stream. I came home, started
Oh,
streaming.
there's
I was like,
fingerprints on here already.
oh, rip.
I know. I bought the case though, so I have a screen protector. So
Good.
here's my beautiful Nintendo Switch console. You can't really like see the details that well. My webcam isn't good enough to focus on it.
You need a light.
I know. I don't have a proper light.
Just take your phone and be like.
I feel like that's gonna be really.
Just take your phone and just. Just like that.
Hey guys, I'm making my own light.
It's not working.
Oh, it's kind of
Oh,
helpful.
that's so
No.
cool.
Oh, it's working. It's working. The people listening to this, the audio only version on like iTunes, are gonna be like,
Well, this all
Crazy.
gets cut out until the podcast begins, and then it begins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
all right.
So, you guys ready?
And then wait, I need to show off the rest for everyone.
Yeah.
Show it off. Show it off.
I have
This is
my
just the
case,
pre-show.
and I have the dock.
Whoa.
The doc is in.
All right,
That
now we can
looks-
start the podcast. I just wanted
Wait.
to show you guys my goodies.
Unrelated. Well, no, semi-related. What are you gonna do with your old Switch?
I'm selling it.
Just. Okay. I was just curious, like if you were just gonna have two or.
I
Or
have
like
three
what?
technically. I have three
Oh, boy.
Nintendo Switch consoles, so
Oh, that's too many. All right.
yeah,
so let's
I'm
get
selling
started.
one of them, and then I'll just have this one, and then my light after. All right, we ready to rumble?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's rumble in the jungle.
All right.
Wait, I want your Mario Joy-Cons.
No,
I want them.
they still aren't for sale.
Okay, fine. Let's start this podcast.
All right.
Dingus.
Worth a try.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hylian Gamescast. Today it's going to be 𝐓𝐵Lima, Daniel, and I. We're going to be talking about an Ocarina of Time expansion for the Nintendo 64 disk drive. The first one ever, actually. It's called Dawn and Dusk, made by a friend of the channel, Luigi Blood, who we came to know through Melon Speedruns and Hard for Games, another YouTube channel that we're friends with and have done a few videos with in the past. Then we're going to be talking about the Lego Mario news. I was going to say rumor, but it's not a rumor.
Not a rumor.
Yeah, it's straight up stuff that you can buy and play with, so pretty cool. And then we're going to be talking about some Zelda rumors and answering some of your questions to end off the podcast. So if you have any questions, get them ready and comment them when we get towards the end of the podcast. So I guess starting off the podcast with the Zelda 64 Dawn and Dusk is a new 64 disk drive expansion to Ocarina of Time, and of course
We have a super chat.
Oh, okay.
Did he? donated 14 Czech crowns. Thank you, Denny.
Thank you,
He
Denny.
just says he just gives a peach emote.
Thanks.
Just a
Yes.
peach emoji. Thanks for that, Denny. But thank you for the super chat.
This comes from N64 Today. Of course, if you don't have a Nintendo 64 disk drive, like 99% of the world, you can just download it and emulate it. So it starts off... Wait, was there another super chat? I can't tell while I'm reading, so you guys will have
Same
to...
one.
No, it's fine.
let
You're
me.
good.
Same one.
All
We're
right.
still good.
During the N64's heyday, Nintendo had plans to release an expansion pack for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time by using the 64 disk drive add-on, the 64DD. It would interface with the original game to offer a new experience. Sadly, the 64 disk drive was destined to failure. Developed by Captain CDI, Zelda 64 Dawn and Dusk is a brand new Legend of Zelda 64 disk drive expansion game. You can play it on a 64DD development unit. Of course, this bit of kit is rarer than hen's teeth, so it's just as well you can also experience it on emulators or an original N64 console using a flash cart. Zelda 64 Dawn and Dusk was ported to 64DD by Luigi Blood, who previously released English translations of Mario Artist games. What's Zelda 64 Dawn and Dusk about? The expansion is brand new Legend of Zelda adventure. It uses the same assets and game engine as Ocarina of Time, but features a new world and story. The game is set in a once great kingdom, now split between East and West. In a bit of power, the West tried to tame a legendary beast. However, this new creature ended up attacking the East, resulting in a costly war for both sides. Thankfully, a legendary priestess confronted the beast and forced it into a deep slumber. Although this brought an end to the hostilities, each kingdom ultimately fell into ruin. You can play as a young descendant of this priestess, and now the time has come for you to set out for the Dusk side to stop the beast from rising once again. So, there is a side called pretty much the Dawn side and the Dusk side, and everything in the game is familiar looking, like everything was made from assets and stuff that's already in the game, but the village, the characters, the quests, and everything in the game is completely new, and if it's your first time playing the game, then it'll take about 3 hours. But it's really cool because it was developed specifically to... there are tons and tons of Ocarina of Time mods out there, or people that try to make their own games from the Zelda 64 engine. But 99% of them are never made, and they're all made to work on the original Nintendo 64. This was the reason it's named Dawn and Dusk is the DD in the initials is for the disk drive. So this was developed specifically to run off of the hardware from the Nintendo 64 disk drive. So it kind of gives somewhat of a fulfillment for the people who always wanted the Ura expansion or something kind of like it. So this kind of goes and fills that void. So that's the interesting thing about it, is that it is actually a complete and full expansion of Ocarina of Time. And not only is it one of the only ones that actually exist and is all the way playable, but it exists to take advantage of some of the extra processing and memory that is allowed by the disk drive that the original Nintendo 64 wouldn't necessarily be able to give you. So, yeah.
It's cool though because it's its own unique project. So there's beta Zelda restoration projects and Ura Zelda restoration project, and it's not those.
Yeah,
it's not supposed to be Ura Zelda. It's its own new spin on it, which I think is great because we could hum and ha about what Ura Zelda was and all this stuff, and 20 people come to 20 different conclusions. But so this is not trying to be that. It's just trying to be its own cool thing, and I think it succeeds pretty well. And You mentioned Tony before. He did a review video on this on his channel as well, which is worth a watch. Although he actually played it using his disk drive, which is just an extra layer of awesome because he actually used the correct hardware. So instead of just the ROM.
Because we don't have like $10,000 to afford one. So
Yes, we do not. I would not be able to do that. I wish I could. I try and use as much original hardware as I can when I stream and stuff like that, but like at a certain point it's just unattainable. So
yeah. I actually messaged Luigi Blood, who was the one who ported the game or got it working for the disk drive, and I asked him. Well, I was going to ask him if he could come on, but it was like so last minute that like he told me that he had the free time, but like it was like literally 2 minutes before we came on, so like it wasn't. So almost maybe like next week or like another time he can come on and talk to us about it. But I wanted to talk about that, and Luke, Hylian Luke, one of our friends, he actually streamed the game for everyone who's interested. So if you go to the live stream that was held yesterday, just look in our past videos and you can see a complete playthrough by him of the game. So if you're interested.
Did you guys play it all?
Yeah, he played it all. It's just
a
like
short campaign. It's...
Yeah. I just wasn't sure because I didn't tune in for it, so that's really cool. I'll have to give that a watch later.
Yeah, like it's one dungeon, one half dungeon that's like, you know, in like Breath of the Wild and Skyward Sword, sometimes getting to the dungeon, there's a bunch of puzzles and challenges that you have to do. It's kind of like that, to where like there's the main dungeon that's in this expansion, but then also getting to the dungeon is also a dungeon-like experience. And then there's like the mini boss and the dungeon item and everything. So like it's a brand new dungeon and everything, and it's really cool. Brand new village, NPCs, buildings, characters. Like it's a whole new world, basically. The Aladdin song popped in my head.
I know, as soon as you said that, I was like...
Yeah, it's literally a whole new world.
All three of us were trying not to bust out into song.
As the description said, it's like there's a priestess a long time ago that sealed the boss, and you play as the priestess's grandson or whatever. So you're not playing as Link from Ocarina of Time. Like this isn't something that's meant to be like fan canon between Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask or anything. This is like an entirely new Link in an entirely new world. Like it's not even Hyrule. It's just like its own thing. It just has happens to involve Zelda characters and stuff. So it's really cool. So please go check it out if you haven't already. Do you guys have any final things to say before we move on?
No, not at all. I think we kind of covered like a very similar topic to that. Not like talking about us actually like having us live stream it or getting Luke to do it, but we did have a very in-depth conversation about the 64DD. So I think I'm good.
All right. Daniel, do you want to take the first Mario
Yes,
Lego thing?
Thanks, Yoda.
Yeah, so Lego Mario. So we have two articles here.
The second one's kind of short. So like I thought you could take the first one, and then Chubes could take the second.
Coolio.
So this is okay. Well, just for backstory, everybody, I hope you understand what we're talking about with Lego Mario. If not, Nintendo of America and Lego official Twitters both posted the video. So go check it out. Lego Mario is now a thing that happens. So there's your context. This article comes from GoNintendo.com. And the headline is Lego Super Mario has been in the works for over 4 years, will not connect to Nintendo Switch, and Lego shows interest in other Nintendo IPs, because why wouldn't they? So Lego Super Mario was revealed earlier this week, and in a typical Nintendo fashion, it is offering a unique play experience. This came together through a very close-knit collaboration with LEGO, and it's something that has been in the works for quite some time. In an interview with Brothers Brick, I don't know what that is, but Jonathan Bennick, the design manager at LEGO Creative Play Lab and digital design lead for LEGO Super Mario, talks about when all the work began. He says, I've been working on this project for 4 years, but about a half a year before that, leaders from both LEGO and Nintendo met up to talk about what we could do together and where our core competencies lie. We decided early on that what we wanted to leverage what both parties are good at. For LEGO, that's of course the brick being creative and using your imagination. For Nintendo, it is seamless interactivity and innovation. We wanted to make sure that LEGO and Nintendo come together, those two big brands with lots of fans, that we do it justice. About half a year into the project, we made the first prototype of an interactive Mario figure. I hope one day we get to share this with the world because I think it would be quite interesting for people to know where it came from and how it evolved. But it was basically just a tiny little brick, maybe 4 modules high, with a screen and speakers that we put a cap on and painted red. Once we put the cap on, we were all like, yeah, that's Mario, and we instantly fell in love with him as an interactive LEGO character. But we didn't know exactly what to do with him and how to make the most of functionality. For that, we worked with Nintendo and playtested with kids for quite a few iterations until we solidified the idea of building levels. Essentially, you can't go wrong building levels, but certain combinations and tricks will make the level better and get more coins from it. Building levels was probably the biggest revelation of the project because that is really where the core LEGO play comes in. Everything is happening in the bricks, and it's about coming up with ideas for levels and building anything that you want with the technology and interactivity that Nintendo is known for, infused in it from the beginning. Since
Whoa,
this is
just
not the
keep
quote,
going. You're almost there.
this is the article that keeps on giving. Since the reveal, a lot of people have been wondering if LEGO Super Mario will connect with the Switch in some way. Unfortunately, that is not the case. He says, unfortunately, can't talk about the battery or updates, though we'll be releasing that information in the future. I also can't tell you what it connects to, but I can tell you that it does not connect to the Switch. It doesn't connect to the Nintendo hardware platforms. This is because we wanted to keep the experiences very separate. Lego Mario is not a video game. Kids are basically role-playing a video game with the sets by building levels, but it doesn't go into a Nintendo game. For instance, so there's a very clear separation between those, but I can't comment on anything that it can connect to just yet. And the words. Now that Nintendo and LEGO are working together, can we expect the two to team up with other IPs? LEGO obviously isn't ready to say, but there does seem to be interest. He says, again, I can't go into specifics here, but I can say that we haven't worked for 4 years to release just one wave of products. We hope to have a long and fruitful relationship with Nintendo and their IPs, and we really look forward to working with them on a long term. They have a lot of very exciting IPs that we might do or might not do.
Ooh.
That is the end of the article. Of course, where was this when I was a kid? I'm just putting that out there. I would have died and went to childhood heaven had there been like Zelda Lego sets. It would have been the most ultimate thing of my life. Because I loved Lego and Nintendo. Those were like my two things as a kid. So just putting that out there. This is an exciting time. Anyways.
Very, very exciting. Dang.
Very exciting.
I know. I wish I had that opportunity when I was younger. Like, I mean, I was young enough to be around for like Harry Potter Lego, so I was always on that and like Star Wars Lego. But to have Nintendo Lego,
yeah,
I don't have disposable income for that sort of thing. So.
Do you want to read the second piece of news, Tubes?
Yeah. Let's read the next part.
Mm-hmm. It's technically the first
this
piece,
is
but
another one. It's from Go Nintendo. Nintendow's Lego collab may feature up to 13 sets. Might have been meant for a Nintendo Direct reveal, which we all know that they kind of goofed on that when they announced it. They basically were like, oh yeah, like announced in this Nintendo Direct, but we hadn't had a Nintendo Direct, so it was like basically hinting that maybe we were supposed to get one.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Probably.
Nintendo and LEGO are working on something Mario-related, which was confirmed earlier today. What else do we know about the project? Well, nothing officially, but some other tidbits have popped up that may or may not be legitimate info. First up, the gang over at Stone Wars have found that there are 13 different listings for projects that appear to be tied to the Nintendo collab. The lineup includes items priced from €4 to €100, quite a bit of range of products. Following that, Game UK posted up a message about the collaboration that points to a Nintendo Direct that got shifted around. Check out the message in full below. Heard about the partnership between LEGO and Nintendo. The latest Nintendo Direct announced their exciting collaboration, the first time the two big brands have worked together. Details are limited at this stage, but we hope you're as excited as us. As you know, the info did not come from a Nintendo Direct, but I'm just going to call it Mario Day instead. Is this a goof on Games' part, or was there a Direct that's been shuffled around?
I think that they honestly probably had a Direct scheduled and pushed it up so that they don't like undercut the Animal Crossing hype, basically. That's my thought. But probably after Animal Crossing comes out, we'll have a Direct. That's my thought. But yeah, it's an oops. They probably had something planned, and then coronavirus ruined their Direct.
Yeah. Well,
it's been canceled.
You're right on that, though. Like, I feel like right now, like, Nintendo just kind of like riding this hype train that everyone is on right now about Animal Crossing, and there's so many people that are buying into the hype. I mean, there's people that aren't really, but I've found that a lot of people that, even though they're not excited about Animal Crossing personally, they're excited for people that are excited about Animal Crossing. So it's just been like this huge positivity that's been coming through, aside from all the gatekeeping we've been seeing. But I mean, it makes sense to delay the Direct.
Who's gatekeeping?
Wow,
what are they saying? It's Animal Crossing.
I don't know if
you
guys
gatekeep Animal Crossing.
Miss Click she had posted something about it on Twitter about how she was like talking about Animal Crossing and she hadn't played any of the other core games for Animal Crossing, and so someone was trying to gatekeep Animal Crossing and say that she's not a true fan because she didn't play the other ones. And I was like,
okay, everyone has to start somewhere.
I'm just happy that people are getting into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rip.
people are weird.
Yes.
But so it's interesting that they say that they've been working on this for 4 years, that it wasn't something that they just got together like a few months ago and then planned out, and now they're talking about it and they're like, hey, we're going to release some Lego Nintendo sets or whatever, because I don't know if you guys remember, but around the same time that Nintendo, the rumors of a Nintendo Mario movie was going to be worked on or coming out, around that same time, there was also rumors of Nintendo working on smartphone games. And around the same time, there was also rumors of Nintendo and Lego working together. Nintendo came out, denied all the rumors, and sometime later, Nintendo finally confirmed they were working on a a Mario movie. That movie is supposed to come out next year. The cell phone game rumors that they denied, now they have like 7 games made.
Is it
all
7?
together? Or 7 planned all together?
Go?
I don't know. Like there's Pokemon Go,
Dr. Mario, Mario Kart, Fire Emblem.
that weird amiibo game.
Fire Emblem. Oh no, Animal Crossing. What's the weird amiibo game?
They had one of the first or the second games that they had was like the Mii game, but then they canceled it or whatever while it was already gone.
What was it called? I don't remember what it's called, but they did. Yeah, I remember the one.
And then they
It's kind of lame.
It's kind of lame.
They said that the Zelda amiibo game, or not amiibo, the Zelda mobile phone game was going to be in development after the Animal Crossing game.
Yeah.
So technically, they should be working on it if you want to believe Nintendo.
It's a big if.
Yeah, because obviously, like them denying all of those rumors. But around the same time, one of the other rumors that was going around was Nintendo was partnering with Lego, but nothing ever came of it, except Nintendo denying it. And just like all of the other rumors at the time, this is finally the last rumor that has come out to be confirmed. But at the time, it wasn't Mario and Lego. It was Zelda Lego. So it's interesting. But in the interview, the guy who was being interviewed from Lego said that they didn't work for 4 years just to do Mario, that they wanted to do other things, and Zelda would be like the next thing I would imagine they would try to go after Mario. Maybe Donkey Kong, I don't know. And I imagine whenever the Mario movie comes out next year, they probably have a big Mario Lego set that'll come out that'll be like based around that movie as well. And we might
like a Lego thing to do.
Yeah. And I was saying yesterday, I think on Shubes' chat, I wouldn't be surprised if I seen Mario or Bowser or someone make an appearance in the next big Lego movie if they have one. Kind of like how Bowser appeared in Wreck-It Ralph and stuff. And then
makes sense.
Mario himself was supposed to appear in Wreck-It Ralph too. Like the directors of the movie, between the first and the second Wreck-It Ralph, they said that they had gotten permission to use Mario, but then they decided not to because they felt Mario would take away from, like, he would overshadow the actual main characters, so they decided not to actually use him.
Yeah,
that's legit.
And so, like, if they got permission to use him and Nintendo and Lego actually have a working partnership with as many crazy characters as Lego puts in their movies, then I would imagine that Mario could be one of those characters. And if not Mario, then like Bowser or like a Yoshi or someone could make a random appearance in the Lego movies. So I think there's always that. It's interesting that they said that they had some type of connectivity with a game. They specifically said it wasn't the Switch, but maybe just like Nintendo and everyone said that they weren't going to be releasing a smartphone game and all of those other stuff that they denied, maybe it's something that they want to deny until Nintendo are able to announce it themselves and unveil the surprise themselves.
About the Direct, I don't want to.
Anything Nintendo related, we're just not going to talk about.
Yeah.
We're doing a collab. Not going to tell you who with.
It's actually coming to. It's going to connect to Infinity on PS4.
Well, like the only other thing that it could connect to is if Nintendo comes out and says that there's a Nintendo Lego smartphone game that's going to be releasing, and then that would be weird because then everybody would be like, why not have it on Switch? Like, why cell phone? And then people would be like, you could just like make, I don't know, like, do you think we'll see Amiibo Lego sets? Like, they had the Amiibo crossed with, what was the other one?
They had a cereal box.
No.
At this point.
Yeah, they had the cereal box, but they had Skylanders, to where Donkey Kong and Bowser appeared in Skylanders.
They weren't Amiibos. They were just their own. They just had their own Skylander that were Donkey Kong and Bowser.
No, there was like a switch on the back of them that, like, if you moved the switch, it would work as an Amiibo, and if you moved it in the other one, it would work as a Skylander toy.
That sounds really complicated.
It does. I didn't know
Jesse,
that.
Was this a dream that you had?
No. I promise. Like, it was there. Like, they had it.
One time I had a dream there was going to be a Nintendo Direct, or I thought I either had a dream about it, or I had seen a tweet about it, and it turned out to be wrong in both cases. I saw a tweet that was a year old from it.
Rip.
Cool. But yeah, what are your guys's, like, where do you see this going? Like, when Nintendo finally announces this in a Direct for, like, an official announcement, do you think it's going to be a weird Lego Nintendo game, or do you think it's going to be, like, just a normal Lego game, but instead of a Lego game, like, not Lego Mario or Lego Zelda, but just like a normal Lego game that you can just play as Mario in it if you use this Lego Mario figure. Like, it just unlocks him as a character.
It'd be nice to have a little NFC reader figure to use him as amiibo, though, of just anything. What if you could tap him into Mario Odyssey and now you have a Lego Mario?
Yeah.
Like just something weird and cool like that. Although it would probably be really similar to the 8-bit Mario one, but that's beside the point.
I could see DLC for like Super Mario Maker 2, to where it like makes a Lego world, or like a Lego aesthetic.
Would be very cool.
And then all of the land would have like the little things sticking up from it.
No, actually, because in Mario Maker, there's the different like themes, which are the different games. You have Super Mario Bros. You have Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World, the new Soup, and then there's
3D World.
There's 3D Worlds, which is in its own box. And it's like other themes or other styles, and it says other styles, but that it's just the one game separate. There's totally room to put more things there. They could put a Lego. They could put a Lego style there, and that would be bomb. That would go against everything this interview just said, but that's beside the point. It would be cool.
Well, that's the thing, is like Nintendo, they always deny everything until they want to say it. Which technically they have to. Like, that guy is under NDA, so like no matter how many times you ask him, even if you like got it down to the exact second the announcement would happen, like, is there going to be a direct announcing this on March whatever at 2 p.m.? He would have to be like, no. Or else he would lose his job and get sued. So
Yep. True.
That's
NDAs,
fine. It just gives
guys.
us things to kind of ponder over.
Very true.
Yeah. So Tubes, what are your expectations of all of this?
I mean, like, expectation-wise, I think we had kind of touched on it a little bit yesterday, about, like, probably having future sets where you can actually build, like, the Mushroom Kingdom, or, like, build, like, Hyrule Castle or something like that.
Yes.
So I think that would be a really cool way to do it, because we've seen what Lego can do, and there's endless opportunities for creativity there. And if they can mesh it in a way where it, challenges creativity as well as, incorporating family, those are two core values for these companies, and I think they'd work out really well. Also, on a total aside, when Lego had like posted like, hey, like, we have this cool thing happening, and everyone started losing their minds, they're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get a Lego Mario game. I was like, guys, literally why?
Yeah.
Literally, why would we get a Lego Mario game?
That part confused me, because everyone was like, well, they said the word franchise in an intro, and franchise doesn't mean toys, it's a game. And I'm like, no, franchise literally means like anything, basically. Like, the word franchise is not exclusive to video games, guys. It could be movies or toys, or just like a series of intellectual properties that you own is your franchise, or it could literally mean Tim Hortons is a franchise. So it's like it's restaurants can be franchise, guys. So why can't Lego sets? It was like the most flimsy thing I'd ever heard.
I know. I think it's just like a starved Nintendo community that's like really like grabbing at the pieces for new news and information, and every time something comes, like, there's no direct. Lego Mario.
Yeah, they're thirsty for any news at this point. We all are. Let's be honest.
I've got Animal Crossing next week. I'm geeky.
Oh, there you go. You're fine. You're fine. I'm gonna get it though, but I still want more news. So.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. So the final piece of news is a rumor that I've talked about in one of the videos, and I haven't released
Everyone should watch it.
second video yet, but basically, so someone yeah, okay, so someone messaged me and said, hey, did you hear about this thing, blah blah blah, and I was like, no, I haven't. And then I messaged some other people that we know and kind of mentioned what it was without actually saying what it was. And then one of those people messaged me back and was like, "Oh, are you talking about this? Because I've also heard this." And one of the things that they had mentioned was exactly what I was talking about. So then I was like, oh, well then there's two people that seem to know exactly what this is. So I was able to confirm the first thing, but then there's the second thing that the second person mentioned that I wasn't able to confirm with anyone. So I wasn't able to make a video talking about that because I don't want to make videos about rumors that everyone sends, or else I would have an entire inbox full of bad rumors. But there are some rumors that we do talk about and make fun of, like the bridge rumors, for some of the people that remembers those. The Link's Awakening, A Link Between Worlds thing, which kind of ended up being somewhat true, because there was the Link's Awakening remake, but it wasn't the A Link Between Worlds style remake for the 3DS or whatever. But anyways, the rumor is basically there is an easy mode or classic mode or whatever you want to call it, to where weapons or items will be a lot more durable, anywhere from being twice as durable to being indestructible like previous games, which is why I like to call it classic mode, because it sounds like the way that games used to be, the Zelda games used to be made. They described it as more of an easy mode, but it doesn't necessarily affect the strength of the enemies when you fight them. They don't do less damage or more damage, so it just affects the item durability. So the way they described it as an easy mode, which I guess having more items that don't break would be easier, but it sounds more like a classic mode to me. But they did describe that wooden items would still burn or break, like a Deku stick from Ocarina of Time or a Deku shield from Ocarina of Time would still burn. But your metal weapons and other items would not burn or be destroyed. And the thing that was unconfirmed, or that I could not find anyone to confirm, was a type of enemy that would be sort of like the Guardian, that may or may not take the place of the Guardians, that would be more like a mix between a more aggressive Guardian and a P-Hat from Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. The P-Hats being, as soon as you leave Kokiri Forest in Ocarina of Time, there's like this big plant enemy that's like dug into the ground, and then it'll just like fly up in the air and start chasing you with giant metal blades. They are completely terrifying when you are first playing Ocarina of Time and have no idea what they are or how to destroy them. But it would make sense that Nintendo would try to bring them back, because they have been in almost every Zelda game except Breath of the Wild. They've changed forms in a lot of games, like in Twilight Princess, they're not even really an enemy, they're just basically used to...
They're
like,
glorified clawshot targets.
Yeah, they're an excuse to have clawshot targets flying in the air. That's all they're there for. Definitely not nearly as terrifying as they are in Ocarina of Time. But the person hinted that, sort of like the Guardians in Breath of the Wild, when you are inside a shrine and you have the tests of strength, they have the first phase to where they try to melee attack you, and then they go into the second phase where they just spin around and shoot lasers in a circle. These new Guardians would enter a second phase that, after they stopped melee attacking you or you chopped off their legs or whatever, to where they couldn't move or attack you, they would kind of break apart and then turn into a flying guardian, which would then be the P-hat-like guardian that would just like chase after you with the spikes. So that's basically
cutting off its legs is no longer going to ground it. It's going to just start flying after you then.
yeah.
But I love
Basically.
cutting off legs and harvesting those ancient screws.
Yeah. So
And
that's
It's so bad.
that's basically it. So what are your guys' thoughts on all of that?
Honestly, I kind of hope that they move away from the guardian side of things, like enemies. Like, I think they should still have them there, but like I think they should move in a little bit more of a different direction with them. Like, just more different enemies. Doesn't have to just be more guardians. So that's all I got to say about that. But the rest of the rumors, the easy mode thing, I don't know. I like weapon durability. I liked the system. To be honest, I know I'm one of the few, but I know I'm not the only one. Because I know Justin in your video was talking about it as well. But yeah, same with the Rin. But like I like the weapon durability. It adds a level of sort of inventory management to just regular combat, which I like. So it's I probably wouldn't play on like an easy mode or anything like that myself. But I'm also like really big into master mode here, so I hope they bring that back in the sequel. But I mean, you see, I don't know. That's pretty much all I gotta say about that. I want to break weapons over enemies' heads. That's all.
Love it. There's nothing more satisfying than throwing an almost broken weapon at someone and just watching it shatter and do extra damage, and you go,
Yeah. And they
Yeah.
go flying back, and they're like, yeah. Oh, it's perfect.
I really like it too because it does force you to use weapons that you otherwise wouldn't.
Yeah,
use.
exactly. I think that if my weapons weren't breaking, I would probably start hoarding them, and that's not a good thing for me. Like, I have a hard enough time in other games where I'm trying to manage inventory all the time because I'm just apparently an in-game hoarder. I just do this,
Yeah.
so
Same.
I like that it forces me to break my items and continue just kind of like finding either ones that are better or finding out what works for me.
But the hoarding is a real thing, though. I absolutely do. Okay, when I was streaming Breath of the Wild for like several weeks in a row, I had this Royal Claymore that I had found that did like 116 damage, and I didn't use it the whole time because it was too good. It was too good. I didn't want to waste it. It was too, and I beat the game, and I beat the game on stream, and I look at this Twitch chat and I say, I never used that Royal Claymore.
Oh my gosh.
What's the bigger waste?
Funny.
In an attempt to not waste it, I wasted the experience. I robbed myself of using
GG, Daniel.
such a good OP weapon. So, that's just too bad. They should. Okay, Denny in the chat here mentions the Master Sword. They really should do something about that though. And I think you mentioned like in your video some ideas about weapon durability. And I think if I had to like choose one fix for weapon durability, it would be like, as far as the scope of the first Breath of the Wild goes, Master Sword should never run out of energy. Or if they made it so that it runs out of energy, it shouldn't run out of energy after you finish the Master Trials, like the Trial of the Sword. Like, they could have put that in, and it's like, okay, now it never runs out. You just did all this hard work. You've earned it, buddy. And then, like, the champion weapons, I think, should be unbreakable, as well as, like, the Hylian shield.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
agree.
even if you have to give them a cooldown time or something, like the Master Sword, I could live with that. They just shouldn't be breakable, because then I just end up putting them in my house and never touching them. So my house is just a gallery of the champions' weapons.
The collectathon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Denny
I'm
says,
so
make me
bad.
repair it at least.
Yeah.
I was
you know,
going to
it
say,
could
like,
stay-
having a repair option would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I mentioned in the video it would be interesting if in Breath of the Wild 2, because there's so many different amiibo that just basically do the same thing. It would be great to have a specific amiibo that you tap and it just fixes all of your weapons. But it could only be used like once a day.
That'd be really OP. Also, what do you mean by once a day?
Well, like, cause like you can only use the amiibo once a day anyways. So like once a day in real life, not a day in the game.
Right.
I
Yeah.
understand.
Or maybe it would just like if you do think it's OP, maybe it would just fix the items that you currently have equipped. So like whatever bow or
You remind me. Okay, you reminded me of something. I had an
Yes.
idea. Okay, they should put just a gauge, like a
great
meter,
idea.
durability meter. Like in Skyward Sword, your shield durability has a meter, a durability meter. Just put something like that in there. Second, the idea I had, I've been playing through some classic Fire Emblem games recently. And the weapon durability in that game, if you have two swords, like say you've got two iron swords, and they're both like durability is down, there's a merge option to just like combine their durabilities. Say so there's like a durability of 40 is their base durability for like an iron sword.
So they make like a little iron sword
20
baby.
of one, and you use like 20 of a different one. Yeah, you basically can merge their durability. So you lose one of them, they merge together, but then it restores the durability. You just add the two, whatever was left. And it like if you think about it, like you could do something like too, where you go around. Oh, my royal broadsword is almost broken, but I've got another one here. You can just do that. I don't know. It's a thought. It works. It works in that game.
You're just gonna ignore the entire part where Jesse mentioned that you're just making an iron sword baby?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It just makes like a tinier
You're
iron
like
sword.
totally
This
unfazed
little
by that.
sword.
I'm over here like,
this is little baby sword here.
Yeah.
he just pulled a sword out of his pocket.
Like I've got several master swords in this room. That's beside the point.
I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna keep that in the loot dungeon.
Oh no. Oh no.
All right. So, questions?
Questions.
Yeah.
Answers.
Yeah.
Mailbag? Is that what you're saying? Or are
Mailbag?
you asking if we
Yeah.
have questions?
No, mailbag.
Mailbag.
Ow, I hit my elbow.
Yeah. Just says
my
bring
elbow.
the one-hit obliterator
Mailbag.
back.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Do it.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's high risk, high reward. It's good.
So I can start off the mailbag. We'll do 2 questions each, and then we'll be done for the podcast. Because we'll make it a quick one tonight.
A quick one.
So,
Just a quickie.
hello everyone, welcome to the Hylian Gamescast Zelda mailbag. We have a question from the Patreon supporter, the Manboy Cave. Says, do you guys think the sequel to Breath of the Wild should get a whole new title or just be called Breath of the Wild 2? I can't decide what's better. There are pros and cons to both.
Nope. Get a new title. Don't call it Breath of the Wild 2. That's boring.
Okay.
That's me. That's boring.
Okay.
Breath of the
Wait.
Wild is like that's such a unique name that's perfect for that game.
Yeah.
The sequel to Breath of the Wild, which we are tentatively calling Breath of the Wild 2 until they announce it, is clearly going to have a very different focus. You look at the first trailer for Breath of the Wild, and it's all like, look how much open space there is here. This is a
Breathe in
huge
the
landscape.
wild.
Breathe it. Yeah, breathe it in. There's so much grass. Okay, you can cut so much grass here. You won't get any rupees, but there's lots of grass to cut. Look, there's mountains there. It's open. This is the Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And you're like, great, sounds good. This game, first trailer comes out, it's like, death! So- you're in a dark cave. and it's... That's what they gave us. A dark cave with a corpse that comes to life and malice spilling everywhere. That does not... That vibe I get there is not... I don't look at that and go like Breath of the Wild. You know,
Instead
like
of that piano tune that you hear in the
Mm-hmm.
first Breath of the Wild trailer, when we get the official trailer for the sequel, it's just going to be like a death metal song. Instead of like the tiny little piano tune that's like all lighthearted and like
Oh yeah.
3
No, it's-
seconds between each note. It's just going to be really fast,
It's gonna be a different beast. But I genuinely think it's gonna be a different beast, and it's gonna they can't. They gotta call it something else. They gotta. We already had Zelda 2. People are gonna start calling it Zelda 2, Breath of the Wild 2. It's gonna be terrible. Let's just give it a new name. A new name that's perfect for that game. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Sorry for hijacking this. So
I just hope they don't overdo it and call it The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 blah blah blah. Like they give it another
like
subtext.
the new
subtitle.
Breath of the Wild
Subtitle.
2.
Yeah.
New Super Breath of the Wild
XP.
2
Games have
Deluxe.
done that before though. Where it's like they've given it 2 subtitles before.
Oh dear. What is this? Dragon Quest? There's so many subtitles.
Let's just make it Breath of the Rehydrated Ganon.
Oh no. Just X super chatted $2. Answer my question in Discord.
I found his question. I can do
You have
this.
it.
Oh, okay.
Good. All right.
His question for the mailbag from Just X, who has just donated us $2 for this.
Mailbag.
If you can choose one cutscene from any Zelda game and stamp it as your favorite, what would it be and why? And I already have my answer for this, because every time this cutscene happens, I can't help but start rocking out. Ocarina of Time, when you go talk to Big Goron Man and you start dancing and you play your song for him on the Ocarina. Yeah, Darunia.
Saria's song?
Yeah, that is my
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
scene ever.
That's great. That's a good one.
There's literally not, like, there have been lots of emotions and a lot of really cool things that have happened in Legend of Zelda, but nothing will ever beat the way that man just starts dancing and the way that the camera angles start changing and the fire in his face and the heat. Okay, I'm done.
The heat.
Yeah, hot.
He says that. He says
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like it might be because like he has the door to a volcano right behind him. Or it could just be the song.
It could be the song. There's also like a torch on either side of him.
Yeah.
There's literal fire. Ooh, this is a hard question, Justin. But like, I think if you asked me a year ago, my answer probably would have been one of the really emotional cutscenes in Skyward Sword, or maybe even one of the memories in Breath of the Wild. But they were all trumped very recently by, in the Link's Awakening remake, the ending cutscene is just, I don't want to spoil it in case people haven't played the game, because it's literally the end of the game. But the art, the emotions, the music, just everything, it's perfect. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It made me, like, I finished the game for the first time and I was sitting on my couch. It made me feel so many things, and I loved it. I loved it to bits. So I think if I had to choose one, that might be the one to trump them all. That might be the winner. It's just it's so good. It's not quite as memeable as Choose answer, but it's just a genuinely good. It's like a good piece of art, you know. It's just Jesse, what about you? What about you, Jesse?
On the bridge after the dungeon in the desert, I think, when Ghirahim and young Sheik are like fighting each other.
Impa.
Yeah, I said young Sheik. The young Sheikah Impa, yeah.
Yes.
Fight. And like Link gets there just in time, and she's just like, why are you always like 2 minutes late? Yeah.
I think Ghirahim just yeets in through the wall, just bursts in. He's like, I'm here!
Yeah.
Oh,
and I don't know, like it's weird. Like she tells him to like just to like stop trying or whatever, but then it's like like do you just like
she
stop?
also literally would have died if he didn't show up, so.
Right?
Yeah.
She was so mean in that cutscene. I actually super recently beat that one on stream for everyone, and I like legitimately almost started crying like in like the last cutscene where there were all of the goodbyes, and I was just like,
Oh, it's an emotional one. It is. There's some good ones in the chat here. Marsupial Gamer John says ending of A Link Between Worlds was amazing. It's a good cutscene as well. Gus Last says Zelda crying cutscene and Last Memory. Breath of the Wild, I'm assuming. Those are both super good as well. The Last Memory and Breath of the Wild, I watched it like 4 times in a row when I first unlocked it. I just kept going and rewatching it. It's good. It's good. And Justin, JustX, donates $2 again. For your awesome answers, thank you. Thank you, Justin.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Also, we got another super chat. Gus Laz, 790. DS games you want ported to the Switch. One. Let's choose one each. Jesse.
Legend of Starfy.
I choose Jesse. No.
DS games. Super
DS
Mario
games.
64 DS.
What? Really? That's okay. Actually, because I mentioned it already, I've been replaying it. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon on the DS is an oft overlooked, super
I only
good.
picked my answer
game.
because I thought you were going to say one of the Zelda games because you're literally
thinking
playing
about it.
them right now. That's why
No, I
I
just
picked
finished it.
Mario.
Duh, Jesse's gonna pick a Zelda game. Come on.
Now you
Okay.
make
Well,
me look
I
like
just
the
I
jerk.
just intentionally didn't pick as because everyone will hate me.
And we'll always pick a Zelda game. Duh. 3DS remake. Done.
Okay, I think we all just assumed Zelda was obviously
Yeah.
going to. But aside from Zelda, Fire Emblem is the one I'm going with because I have replayed that game more than any other DS game I own. It's so good and there's so much replay value and it's so brutal.
But
It's really
hear me out.
challenging.
Hear me out.
But yes,
Super
hearing
Mario
out.
64 DS.
I guess that's the version you can play as Yoshi's. I do
Or-
love Yoshi.
Like Wario.
Can you play as
Don't
like
say
Wario or
Don't,
Waluigi in
no,
that one
don't
as
say
well?
it. I don't want. I don't care about that.
And I think it's
I
multiplayer.
just love Yoshi. Yeah, it's multiplayer because what you do is you got one person uses this side and one person uses this side.
It's classic one-player, two-player strats. I do that all the time. Where the nunchuck and the other person gets the Wiimote. Absolute chaos.
Perfect. The original version of that was one person used the arrow keys, the other person used WASD, and crowds one keyboard.
So did
Yep.
you see originally? There's been a mod made. The game originally had. It was designed so that you could play multiplayer in Super Mario 64, which Daniel, you and I, we talked about it in an interview once. Because they didn't know exactly how powerful the Nintendo 64 was. That's why, like,
Right.
the original Mario game takes place entirely just in the castle, and then you have to jump through the paintings. The original Zelda game, you were literally just gonna do the same thing.
They were like,
To where-
let's do it again.
Yeah, to where it was like, it was just gonna be Ganon's castle, and then like you just go through the separate areas, and then that's why some of it was left over. Where like Ganondorf can like travel through the paintings and the forest temple, or Phantom Ganon can. It was
Right.
literally going to be just like Mario. But then they were like, hey, we can actually do more with this. So they did more. And people found the original code in Super Mario 64 and made it multiplayer. And then that was what, I think it was the same people, our friends, who made Ocarina of Time multiplayer. But Ocarina of Time didn't have the code in there to make it multiplayer, so they had to like actually do it themselves. But it had the code in it to where like if you got further apart from someone, then it would like do the split screen thing.
Oh, it splits your okay.
Yeah, and but if it didn't, then it would just zoom out. But it already had that like built into the game. And I think I was watching a video recently about the original Luigi's Mansion had the same multiplayer feature.
Neat.
So,
Side note,
yes.
we have another super chat. Key of Time 15, $2 says thoughts on Zelda MMORPG and how it would work. I think we've talked about this previously.
We have, and I
And-
think the conclusion is that basically you'd have different like classes that you could play as. Like you could be like a Hylian, or you could be like
Gordon.
Goron.
Gordon. His name's Gordon.
His name's Gordon.
His name's Gordon. He's a. Yeah, no, and
I
you
feel
get to
like
choose all these different
yeah.
races, and
You wouldn't be able to play as Link, but you'd be able to make a Hylian and dress him like Link.
Sure.
I'm thinking there'd probably be like special events that happen where they might spawn like or like weapons or items that you've seen through other games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
maybe
would be good.
maybe you can get mounts as well. I don't know what kind of mounts you would get. Maybe one of the mounts you can unlock is Sidon.
Oh my!
Can you imagine?
Oh my! But it would be, they could do some very unique ideas with the MMO because they've certainly built the world and the to fit that, right? So it's and I mean basically you've got like all of the recipe for like a classic RPG, a JRPG like party that you could incorporate, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, I definitely leave Link out of the. You're not Link if you're doing a Zelda MMO. Link's off limits. So is Zelda.
Yeah. I feel like it'd probably play a little bit like, I'd say like maybe like Elder Scrolls Online, where it's got like really, really, really good graphics.
Oh no, it's
But-
that bad, huh?
Yeah, Elder Scrolls Online wasn't a very good game to start with, so maybe we'll go like, was it Final Fantasy 15? That was an online MMO. That one was okay.
14.
14?
14?
42.
But I remember everyone in Final Fantasy Online, they were like super angry and easily tilted and very competitive. And didn't like newbies, so. But that's basically every online community in a nutshell.
What about RuneScape?
No one
No.
plays it.
Anyways.
No.
Wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy.
The problem with if they made a Zelda MMORPG is that I already put so many hours into Zelda. I can't do more.
Gosh. All of us out there with over 1,000 hours of Breath of the Wild, like, well, time to do this all over again, times 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Ooh.
the way to get past Link is have it in an era like they talk about in Wind Waker, in the backstory when like Ganondorf came back, but no one was there to stop him. It could be an era to where like Link
Could be
failed
one of the
or something.
wars. There's like a bunch of wars in the timeline between games.
Yeah.
Just choose any one of those. You're
That
good.
doesn't have a Link there, so
Or-
it's like
Ow. The imprisoning war in the Downfall timeline.
never
in
heard
which
of it.
Link. Okay.
No,
For
I'm
the
joking.
unacquainted,
I'm joking.
Link dies in Ocarina of Time. Downfall timeline happens. There's what's called the imprisoning war, which leads into the backstory of A Link to the Past. So you've got this whole war that's just mentioned vaguely. There you go. You
Mm-hmm.
put an MMO there and just never end it. You're like, this is a long ass war, man. This is just a big long war.
You could play as a Rito and just like hover above everyone, so you're never
Makes no
attacked.
sense. They shouldn't be there, but they are. And-
You could do a Deku scrub, so like you just hide underground and everyone just like attacks above you, and then you can just pop out every now and then.
Yeah.
Being a Rito, I feel like would be so OP though. If you maybe they should take it off the table. Just they're like, this is too.
Well, I mean, it depends. If they include a combat triangle, it wouldn't be too OP.
Yes, true. Like if while you're flying, you're extremely vulnerable to being shot by a bow or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like
And yeah,
if flying took magic or whatever. Like when the Deku flies, or like when a Goron spins with the spikes.
or like when the Rito, when Medley and Wind Waker flies,
Yeah.
she has a meter. You could do exactly that. That would be good.
Because it's like they can fly, they just weigh like 200 pounds, and their wings are kind of small for their body.
The only time you can fly unlimited is if you have no.
You
Otherwise,
might
out.
have it when you said that.
Yeah.
Oh
you cut
no!
out.
It's limited, but you can fly unlimited if you have no items equipped because you're not weighed down.
Oh yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah. No.
I love this. People would go bankrupt buying Zelda skins.
It's
They
so
so would.
true. It's so true.
All right. So pick out the last two questions, guys.
Two more questions.
The ooh, 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 ooh.
Ooh.
I saw one that I like immediately.
I see you highlighting it.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
going. This is the
Do
one
it.
I'm asking.
Do it.
Okay, so Serena the Trap today asks, do you think we'll get Super Mario Odyssey 2 or Super Mario Galaxy 3? Why or why not? And I'm going to say definitely. Mario Odyssey did really well. I can't imagine them not doing another one. And I also feel like Mario Odyssey was kind of like their segue into wanting to do like another Mario Galaxy, but also trying to do it in a different light. Like I've been playing through Super Mario Galaxy 2. Well, I played like 5 hours of it yesterday. And a lot of people were like, wait, what? Odyssey wasn't the first game to do all of this? And I was like, no, it wasn't. They basically just backpacked off of their ideas from Mario Galaxy 2 and brought them into Odyssey. In a perfect world, I would see another Super Mario Galaxy 3 because that's what I really want. I'm very invested in those games. But that's my 2 cents.
But I almost feel like Odyssey, from a development or real world standpoint, began as Galaxy 3, and then they just kept changing things. Eventually, they're like, it's just now its own thing.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like there's more value in not calling it Galaxy 3 and calling it Odyssey and moving away from the Galaxy name, because honestly, for me, if this Mario game came out on Switch and it was like Super Mario Galaxy 3, I wouldn't buy it because I'd say, oh, well, I didn't play the first one. I didn't play the second one.
That's true, actually. That's a really good thought.
Super chat banana.
Oh my gosh, Denny. Thank you for the banana.
Oh, banana.
Bananas. But yeah, no, I feel like there's a barrier of entry there. If you just take that out, you literally just change the name. They could have everything be exactly the same, except the name was Galaxy 3, and I'd be like, nah, I guess I'm not getting it because I didn't do the other ones. But they just have it as Odyssey and its own thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm on board. But I think Odyssey did do well enough.
1 and 2 over.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, I think Odyssey did do well enough that if they made it Odyssey 2, I think most Switch owners probably have Odyssey or bought it. So I mean, I could see it. I could see it doing well as long as it's released on the same platform, right? It just has to be on Switch.
Yeah, exactly. I think that if they did an Odyssey 2 and like scrap the idea of doing Super Mario Galaxy 3 and just naming it that in general, it's really hard though, because in Super Mario Galaxy you see really specific elements like the Lumas and Rosalina and all of those key characters. So to bring them into Odyssey and bring them into the Mario universe, I think would be weird to kind of tie them in. So I'm thinking like maybe do it similar to how they do it in Mario Galaxy 2, where you don't actually meet Rosalina right off the start and she's like sending letters to the Luma that's with you. But instead there could be like however you're navigating in Odyssey, you navigate to a galaxy, and that's where you maybe encounter these other people.
It's true. Is this a crossover game? But I love Odyssey. I love Cappy, and the whole capture mechanic, and just an Odyssey. So refined, so well tuned game. It's so magnificent. And Denny's calling me a liar in the chat because he says I lying that I wouldn't buy it. But here's the thing: is I didn't buy Galaxy 1 or 2. I haven't played them. So where's the lie, Denny? Genuinely. Because I do have, like, when there's a sequel game out, I feel an obligation. I'm like, I've got to play the first one before I do this. You know, I gotta...
Yeah.
Nintendo has an official HD remake of Mario Galaxy in China on Switch hardware. So...
Hey, guys, I got this text message. I won the lottery. It's totally not spam.
Oh my god.
Delete. Anyways.
There is the interview a long time ago where Miyamoto said that they were done making Galaxy 3, like it was close to being released or something like that, right? And then they said they were also close to being done with the next Pikmin game.
Don't bring that up.
But I think that ended up being Hey Pikmin, and they changed Galaxy 3 to Odyssey. And
there is no other Pikmin games. Pikmin 3 was it. It was so good, and then they just...
I think they were working... I think they could have been working on Odyssey DLC, because they're like, oh wow, it sold so well, and Breath of the Wild DLC sold so well. But in the same way that they said Breath of the Wild 2 began as DLC for the original Breath of the Wild, that they just had so many new ideas it turned into a new game. I think the same could have happened with Odyssey, to where maybe they did have DLC planned with Odyssey, but then they were like, well, this is all so many new and different concepts and ideas that we're introducing to the game that we could just base an entirely new game off of these ideas. Right. So instead of getting DLC like we did for Breath of the Wild, we ended up getting some free DLC, like the Luigi balloon thing. but then the main DLC stuff was saved for Odyssey 2. And hopefully it has multiplayer, like actual multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
That would be enough for me.
You could even just have it like they're restricted to just being in the same kingdom. Those kingdoms are like contained enough that each, you can have two people roam around there freely, without. I don't see it being any issue except for like maybe sub areas, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, who has the final question?
Why don't you pick one, Jesse?
Jesse.
I'd take the I already picked one, and then I claim one of the
Super chats?
the super chat questions. I couldn't think of it. I kept thinking Patreon, but it wasn't Patreon.
No, not quite.
That's fine. Mailbag
so you
is my
guys
time
take-
to shine anyways. I'm just kidding.
All right. All right. I'm just gonna zip this out of here.
She
Gus
says
says
knowing that you're going to ask a question.
no
I'm
more
just gonna go, I
moons.
agree with Daniel.
No more minutes.
Did someone just fart in their microphone? Did anyone hear that?
I did not. Was it just me laughing weirdly? Is that what?
It might have been.
Oh no.
It definitely sounded like there was a fart.
Rip. Anyways, sorry, what are we doing with the question?
You're
here?
asking a question?
I am? Okay,
Yeah,
I choose this one. AJ's question. He asked, did the Breath of the Wild originally have playable segments, not just memory cutscenes, where you could play as the champions from the journey before becoming champion and up until their demise against the Ganonblights? Question for the mailbag. So, I don't think they did, but I wish they did. Be cool. Just even just a short little thing. Be very cool. But no, I don't think they ever intended to include a segment where you played as the champions briefly, because I think that kind of goes against the if you're having to isolate someone in like a small playable section like that, kind of goes against the whole open air concept. There, because you can't just like walk away from it if you want, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
but
And also, like, with that, like, you pretty much always just play as Link. Like, I think it'd be really weird to just, like, leave Link and go play as another character. And that being said, like, if they did that, they'd probably have to run it, like, when you're doing, like, escort missions, for example. Like, Resident Evil 4 is basically one giant escort mission.
That's the escort mission, the game.
So whenever you
It
swap
really is.
over and you play as Ashley, I think that's how they'd probably do it, where it's like, oh, like you're going into like a memory, and so you're gonna play as the champion. So I think that'd be kind of like you're playing as Ashley, you're lost, and you have no guns.
Oh, it's the worst part of the game because I'm like, I want to shoot all of these guys.
I
I have
know.
to throw a lamp at what run away. What's going on? Oh no! But now that you mention it, honestly, that is really just
Yeah.
a big escort mission. I love that game, but
It's just
just
one
one
big
line.
escort mission. It's everything I hate in a game, but everything I love in a game.
they do it so well that you don't even care.
I would say Breath of the Wild, every other game before Breath of the Wild had, anytime they talked about something that happened in the past, it was like a weird, I think like Phantom Hourglass, like one of the pirates uses a flashcard or whatever to show you, and then Ocarina of Time, the Deku Tree tells you, and like, it's sort of a cutscene, but it's just like Ganondorf riding on a horse with a black background. They never actually show you what the world looked like. Like Wind Waker, they tell you about how Ganondorf came back to take over, but it's just like, it looks like a cave art or whatever. And it kind of looks,
Tapestry, sort
yeah,
of.
tapestry.
Yeah.
And then Skyward Sword, it looks like cave art. It never actually shows you with the actual cutscenes of what the game looks like. But Breath of the Wild is the first one that does that. I think Breath of the Wild could have done what other games did, to where, like, instead of showing you with in-game graphics of what happened, it just gives you the dialogue or the voiceover with the normal nonsense of like it being on Tapestry or whatever, and then no one would be asking, well, like, why can't we play this part? Because then it would just be like a blank picture with the stuff. Or it could have been what they intended for DLC, because that's what everyone was asking for in the DLC, was to play as like what happened in the past. But
Right.
then
We got more memory.
yeah, but
we
then
also got more super chats.
oh yeah,
Oh, it's true. Rin.
it says, love you
Yeah.
guys. This is for your coronavirus survival fund. $12. Thank you.
All right, Jesse, it's up to you. You got to go spend all of the money from this on toilet paper.
Yeah, that has to be done. How much toilet paper can we buy for $12?
Are we
If you
playing
can find it.
Yeah,
double
he who
ply
controls
or
the toilet
triple
paper
ply?
controls-
Single ply? Do we just
Oh.
fold the single ply and make double ply?
Double minimum.
Okay.
You have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like wiping with sandpaper.
Yeah.
It's not good.
But
Y'all need to invest in a bidet. I don't personally have one, but
I don't have this, but you should.
I sold that really well.
so, Choops, where can people find you? If they wanna catch more from you and your
If
goofy
for some reason-
antics.
For some reason,
If they wanna catch you in your bidet, where can they
Oh
find
no!
where can they find you and your bidet streaming?
You won't find any of that, but you can find me at 𝐓𝐿𝐼𝐢 with an extra A, so that's �CHEWBLEEMAA at Twitch TV. .com, I think. Anyway,
Twitch.tv/Twitch.tv
/𝐓𝐿𝐼𝐢. Anyway, you can find me on Twitch. You can find me on Instagram. I posted some pretty nice photos of my new Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch today. You can find that on Twitter as well at 𝐓𝐿𝐼𝐢, and that's pretty much everywhere that I exist right now. Stay tuned. As soon as Animal Crossing comes out, I'm probably going to live on stream for at least 72 hours, just like straight inhaling content of it. So if you're bored and you don't have it, or if you're bored and you just like looking at my face, come hang out.
You've been already living on stream the past couple days anyway.
Yep. I did like 12
good.
hours of stream in the last 2 days.
It's very good.
Cool. All right, Daniel, where can we find you and your non-bidet
Yeah.
streaming?
There will be no bidet stream. If you feel so inclined, you can catch me on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram and all of those platforms. And my YouTube channel is also called. They all have the same name. It's Capt Burgerson. CaptBurgerson. Like the captain. Captain is a burger. The burger had a child. That's me. So.
Son of burger.
Son of burger. But I got a promotion. I'm the captain now. So look at me. I am the captain. Anyway, so yeah, I stream on Twitch Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Though it's spring break next week, so we're a little up in the air. I might just have to do shorter streams than usual, because usually I do stream 4.5 hours, but might be a little shorter those days. But other than that, every other Tuesday, Wednesday, come hang out on Twitch. Denny here is going to be there to keep you company. No, and there's a great old gang of burger gangsters that come and hang out, and then my YouTube channel, I post the occasional video. Mostly my most popular videos are the ones where I just like take a big dump on people's theories, apparently. So, or just
And this is why you need the bidet.
and accurate. Oh, that's true. My three most popular videos are like the problem with this theory videos, and apparently people just eat that content up. But they're also the only videos I get thumbs downs on as well. So
I love it.
salty people, but no, we have a good time, and it's just mostly either my archive streams or just whatever nonsense of a video I decide to put out at that time. But otherwise, if you want pictures of my amiibos, my Instagram, go look at that. So That's me. I definitely talked way too much about that. I wonder if 𝐸𝐴 makes a bidet though. If 𝐸𝐴 they made these chairs. Do you think they'll do it if we ask them?
Clean your butt to keep your bracing chair clean.
Yeah.
𝐸𝐴
So I
bidet.
can stream and keep my butt clean. All at the same time.
Oh, Jesse, tell us about you so I can put myself out of my
Jesse.
misery after this.
Jesse.
Well, I am Jesse. Everything you can find me is YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Everything is /GameOverJesse. You can find link to the Discord in the description, and you can join it to chat and talk with all of us. What's going on?
Someone sneezed really loud.
Was it your roommate?
I think so.
Alright,
She said, "Bless you."
so
Okay, continue.
You didn't bless her.
please give Chubes and Daniel a follow, and again, join the Discord if you want to stay in touch and be up to date whenever we do these streams and everything, because we tell the Discord before we do anything. And yeah, I guess that's everything. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, Gus and Rin and Denny and everyone for watching. Do you guys have any
Love it.
final words?
Rin says, "Love a clean stream," and unfortunately, I regret to inform you that our streams are not that clean.
He took a big dump all over it, so...
Our streams are not that clean. So if there's any youngers out here trying to catch my stream, I have no one but to say a bad word. So, and we talk about very mature things, and sometimes also actual mature things like taxes. So it's a weird time. But we have a great time.
All right,
That's
well,
all I got now.
thank you everyone for watching, and have a great night.
P.
Rude.